All right, click the links for Odysee, Bit Chute, or support channels, Subscribe Star, Coffee, or crypto through the various other means. Best means of support is free. It's just simply drop a link. I thought Antifa, anti-fascist, anti-government in some cases. It's odd that they switched from being standing up against the marginalized and oppressed, standing up for the marginalized and oppressed, and being anti-tyrannical government to enforcing the tyrannical government's decrees, especially in terms of the treatment of the January 6th prisoners who it was a protest against the government, right? Speaking truth to power. Oh yeah, but no, we need to protest those people who are protesting against the government. So doesn't that make you pro-government? Or people who are protesting against the authoritarian issues dealing with the Wu flu. So Antifa goes out and protests against the people who are protesting against the tyranny of excessive government. So doesn't that make Antifa literally, well, figuratively, literally the brown shirts, the black shirts, who are carrying out the government's machinations? Are you saying, like, in the course of 1 year, the Antifa went from protesting the government to protesting on behalf of the government? Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So if you're an Antifa or BLM and you find yourself protesting, like, what are all of our comrades, all these blue-collar people, are just the people who are standing up against the government? Oh, you mean like all those MAGA people who are standing up against the government? Yeah, they're the enemy now. You have to be looking around at yourself and saying, like, okay, wait a minute. What the fuck are we? What is our dogma here? Are we just completely reactionary to, like, whenever normal people go out and protest? If they protest, if MAGA people went out and protested for free speech, would Antifa go and attack the free speech proponents? Yes, they would, because they're purely reactionary. They would try to justify it somehow, but it's like, at some point, if you're in a group, you have to. This is something the right is better at. They're better at infighting, which also means they're better at, like, looking around and goes, wait a minute, are we still on dogma? Are we still on track? It's like with Antifa, it seems like there's less of that. They will just be reactionary. They will just go protest. It almost doesn't matter what the right is for. If the right goes out and protests for better treatment of prisoners in prison, Antifa will go protest against them. Because now they're just a simply knee-jerk reaction to everything that the right does. That means you're not standing for anything. You're just like a monkey wrench in any stable situation. It's like, now are you guys? So Antifa is saying that they support the abuse of prisoners? Oh, well, in some cases, yes. Wait, what happened to no dismantling the jails and no carceral situations and dismantling the police? Oh, well, yeah, except in the cases of our political enemies. Well, why exactly are these people who are protesting prisoner abuses, the MAGA people who are protesting, or if they're protesting for free speech in some cases, how exactly are they Antifa's enemies? Oh, because this Soros, Rothschilds, Schwab guy, these bankers who fund Antifa told us they're the enemies. Is it possible maybe just to start thinking for yourself and realize it's like, you don't have to oppose someone on every single point if you find that you're aligned on those points? I'm not saying you have to team up and march hand in hand, but to oppose somebody on a point that you actually support is insane. It's just, you're nothing more than a reactionary. It's like, oh, well, yeah, welcome to Antifa. Okay, so as you can tell by the headlines, what happened? A guy was acting suspiciously dressed up as Antifa, and he was at a right-wing rally, and he was apprehended, and he had harmful devices on him, and Antifa propaganda and that kind of stuff. Now, that's not the interesting part. The interesting, like, gee, they're mentally ill, Antifa. Well, they're mentally ill people on both sides, if I'm being 100% with you. So he's found with some devices that are meant to maim and mutilate people, blind people, and cause horrific injuries. And now here's the thing: is you go, oh, it's a right-wing rally. So what exactly were these they must have been Hugo Boss wearing type right-wingers, right? No, he was gonna use terrorist explosive devices. There's a bunch of hot words for the algorithm. because the right-wing rally was protesting the treatment of the January 6th suspects on the year anniversary of the U.S. Capitol protest. Those people are arrested for trespassing on a government property, which people have been protesting government properties forever. Antifa and BLM have been rioting forever. And they're in jail awaiting charges for a year. So this guy he has these rapidly expanding chemical agents, and he's wrapping shrapnel around them to cause as much maiming and mutilation as possible, because a group of normie, MAGA, everyday people were protesting prisoner abuses. So Antifa is carrying out the actions of the state. That's how backwards Antifa is. They're now state actors. If you're in Antifa, hey, maybe at one point in time, a few years ago, you had a cause of action, but now you're nothing more than reacting to what ordinary, normal people are protesting for or against. If you see ordinary people and they're not Antifa, you're going to go protest against them, unless it's BLM, in which case you will either avoid it or march with them. Even if their interests are adverse to yours, Antifa doesn't quite have the balls to go up against BLM. But if any ordinary group of moms go out there and they're protesting abortion, Antifa will go out there and attack them. Go, oh, what does Antifa stand for? Well, they don't know what they stand for. They stand for whatever Soros, Rothschilds, and Schwab's pay them to stand for. And that's about it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Odysee, Bit Chute.